can see it's kind of like a long piece itself, but it's just smaller. So we're going to be able to do this real quick. So for the head, I'm going to use the same method of chaining 3, 1, 2, and 3, and you can use the magic loop if you want. Then you're going to slip stitch in the beginning chain to form a ring, and hold on to it so you don't lose that ring that you just formed. Now you want to go ahead and chain 1 and work 5 single crochets in this ring here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you're going to work in that first stitch 2 single crochets, and you're going to work 2 single crochets in the rest too. You're going to need a total of 10 stitches, so you're going to double your stitches this round. So count back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my beginning stitch here, so I'm going to do a single crochet, 2 single crochets actually, in that same stitch, and then you just want to work down and around and working 2 single crochets in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, you need a total of 10 stitches. That's 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and then this will be my last 2, 9 and 10. Now for round 2, we're going to be doing 1 single crochet, and then we're going to do an increase of 2 single crochets in the next stitch. At the end of this round, we'll have 15 stitches. So you want to count back 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, you want to count back 10. This round we'll have 15. Okay, so in the first stitch, you want to put 1 single crochet. Then in the next stitch, and I do like to make sure I'm in the next stitch, you want to put 2 single crochets. That's our increase. That gives us 3 stitches this round. So you want to do 1 single crochet in the next. That's 4 stitches. Then do the increase. 2 single crochets in the same stitch. That's 6 stitches. Then 1 in the next. That's 7. Then 2 in the following one. That gives us 9 stitches. Then 1 in the next. That gives us 10. Then 2 in the next stitch. That'll give us 12. 1 in the next stitch gives us 13. So this will be our final one. Put 2 single crochets in the same stitch will give us 15 stitches. So now that we have our 15 stitches, we're going to be working around and around and around again, and I believe it's for 12 rounds. No, it looks like it's only 10 rounds this time. So for rounds 3 through 12, you're going to just be working 1 single crochet all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and do my first single crochet and then mark it. Use yarn, use stitch marker, whatever. Mark that very first stitch. And then work your 10 rounds. And then remember, you're counting diagonally to know when you're complete with your 10 rounds. And do that, and I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, I just got done with my 10 rounds. And again, remember, from your stitch marker, you're counting up 10. 10 ends right here, the stitch before my last stitch. So I have a total of 10 completed rounds. Now you want to stuff this piece, because you're going to be decreasing after this. Do another round or so, and then you can stuff more. Okay, for the next round 13, you're going to be decreasing in the first stitch, and then you will do 1 single crochet. Then you'll repeat that all the way around. Decrease, then 1 single crochet. Decrease, then 1 single crochet. And remember to move your stitch marker up here, because it's going to help remind you stitches. I'm going to mark this first decrease. And remember to stuff after this if you need. Just got done with my decrease 1, single crochet, decrease 1, single crochet, and that was for round 13. I want to stuff it a little bit more here. This is our last round, round 14, and you're going to be doing a decrease all the way around. You're looking to do 5 decreases. So there's 1, 2, 5. And then I'm going to just go into the stitch opposite of where I am and do a slip stitch. And then also I'm going to do the same thing. The stitch that I skipped here, go in between there and do a slip stitch just to tighten up my hole some. Then you want to chain 1, and then you want to leave a bit of a tail because you're going to be using this tail to sew the head on. So leave yourself quite a bit of tail. And this is the headpiece. Now this headpiece, if you notice, is sewn on kind of facing downwards. Not quite like the legs, but kind of downwards. So keep in mind when you're sewing it that you want it to be kind of down like this. You're going to have the eyes. You'll have 2 ears back here, and then in between in the middle here you'll have your horn. And I'm going to show you how to make the eyes and the ears and the horn right now. So grab the same color as you were using before you change colors here, and let's make an ear. Now we're going to make 2 ears obviously, so I'm going to show you how to make 1, and then you can go and make the other one on your own. So we want to start off by doing that chain 3, or you can use the magic loop. And I'm going to slip stitch in the beginning chain to form a loop. And then again I'm going to chain 1 and work 5 single crochets in my loop I made here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now this is only 2 rounds. So for round 1, you're going to double your stitches by putting a single crochet in each stitch around. So you want to count back 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this beginning stitch here, put 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. Continue putting 2 single crochets around in all your stitches. 2 there, so that's 4. 2 in here, that's 6. 2 in here, that's 8. And these are our last 2 stitches. Okay, now we have 10 stitches. And now we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next, then 2 in the following. So we're going to increase this round just like we did before. And at the end of this round we'll have 15 stitches. So we're going to start off by doing 1 single crochet and then working 2 single crochets in the next. That's 3 stitches. Then 1 single crochet, that's 4 stitches. Then 2 single crochets in the next, that's 6 stitches. 1 in the next, that's 7. 2 in the next, that's 9. 1 in the next, that's 10. 2 in the next, that's 12. 1 in the next, that's 13. And this is our final one. We'll be putting 2 single crochets, and that's 15. Now, this is the right side. This is the wrong side. I usually like to use the wrong side because it already has that kind of fold going on. So, slip stitch in the next stitch and pull through your loop. Complete the slip stitch and then chain 1, and then you want to cut your yarn. You leave enough tail to sew it on. Okay, to make the eye, leave a little bit of tail for yourself. And then all I did was do a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in this beginning stitch here. Then chain 1, and then I just cut my yarn. Leave enough to sew on. And that's it. Do that twice. All this is a chain of 3 and then slip stitch to form a ring, and that's how I made the eye. Make 2 of those. So I have my 2 eyes done. I'm going to take the smaller tail that I told you I wanted you to make a little long. Just make it a little long just so that you can thread it. And then I come up from the bottom, just feed it through this way, and then I feed it through going back this way. It's also going to use it to close up that hole some and create solid. And go ahead and cut that, leaving you one little piece of yarn to be able to sew it onto your your unicorn. Again, I'm going to take this smaller piece here, thread it, and I'm already on this side. See, this is where my tail is. So I'm just going to start basically where my tail begins and feed it through a couple stitches going this way. Then find another place to go in and just feed it going the other direction towards the other tail. And then that's it. Then cut it. And that'll give you a couple eyes. Okay, for the horn you want to get kind of a gold color or yellow color, something that will stand out. And the horn is worked basically the wide part to the tip. So you're going to be ending on the tip. So to make the horn, I'm going to go ahead and do my chain 3, slip stitch in the beginning, chain to form a ring, and then chain 1, and I'm going to do single crochet of 6 worked in the ring. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my beginning stitch, and you're going to want to single crochet 2 rounds into those stitches, those 6 stitches. So just going to be single crocheting for 2 rounds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This yarn is hard to work with. 5, and this will be 6. So that's 1 round. And then I'm going to try to turn it inside out to make my stitches face the right way. And do 6 more stitches for your second round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, for round 3, you're going to be decreasing 1 and then single crocheting in the next 4 stitches. So let's go ahead and start with our decrease. So decrease 1 and then single crochet in the next 4 stitches. It's very, very difficult to work with this piece online. Somehow this yarn is messing me up too. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this part off camera so I can see what I'm doing instead of trying to stay in the camera all the time. So let me remind you, we did the chain 3, slip stitch in the beginning chain. Then you'll want to single crochet 6 in that ring, and then you'll do 2 rounds of just single crochet. So you have 6 stitches, so just single crochet 12 times and you have your 2 rounds done. And then for round 3, which is the one we're just doing now, decrease 1 time and then single crochet in 4 stitches, which will give you 5 stitches. And then for the very last round, round 4, you'll single crochet in each of those 5 stitches and then you're done. Okay, I managed to get that last round with the round 3 with the decrease and the 4 single crochets, and now Round 4, like I told you, you just have to put 1 single crochet in each of these 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to go ahead on the other side and do a slip stitch. Chain 1, cut your yarn, and you want to thread. And then I'm just going to go down the side here of the horn, bring it down to the bottom, because you need to sew this part onto it. So now you have it ready to be sewn on. Okay, so next I'm going to show you how to make the leg. And for hers, she recommends with gold yarn for just the tip, and then continuing on with white, the same color I used for the horn. Now for this one, I'm going to go ahead and use a darker purple since my unicorn is going to be purple. You're going to be switching colors this round. Okay, for the legs, start with your darker color or the tip color, and you'll do the chain of 3 or the magic loop, one of the two. Then I'm going to chain 1, and you want to work 5 single crochets in your loop. 2, 3, 4, and 5. For round 1, you're going to be putting 2 in each stitch. You're going to be increasing. Okay, so you're going to count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Find your 5th stitch. And you're going to work 2 single crochets into that 1 stitch. And then work around, working 2 single crochets in each stitch around. And you're looking for 10 stitches. So I've done it twice, so I have 4 stitches. This will give me 5 and 6. The next one will give me 7 and 8. And then this is my last stitch. Give me 9 and trying to get 10 here. 10. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of make it face the right direction here. For the next, you'll be doing single crochet in those 10 stitches you just made, but you'll be working with the back loop only. Let me found my 10 stitch, my beginning stitch here. So I'm going to count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, we're going to be working with the back loop only. So instead of going under both loops of the stitch, okay, when you're working with the back stitch, usually your stitches have 2 above the hook. Now when you're working with the back stitch only, you're going to skip this first stitch and you're going to go right into the back one, which is just the single loop here, leaving the front loop here alone. So working in these back loops only, skipping the front part here, going in the back loops only, you're going to be doing a single crochet all the way around. So you're going to have 10 stitches this time around. So I'm going to be working that back loop only. 1, 2, 10. Okay. So now you want to switch colors back to your same color you were using for your pony or unicorn. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a loop with this one just by folding this little piece in half here. And I'm just going to pull that through my loop. And then pull down your other color, make it tight. Cut your string, cut your yarn, sorry. And then now you're working with your new color and you have these other 2 tails. Okay, now for the next round, Let's see, for 10 rounds, you're going to be doing a single crochet all the way around. So I recommend, now you'll also be working under both loops from now on. That was only for that one round. So for this round, I'm going to be working over my tails, and I'm going to do my first single crochet. Now you don't really need to mark this one because the different color marks it for you. But you do have to be careful which two you go under, because now you have a loop out in front. See now my 2 stitches? I turned the autofocus off so it wouldn't focus out of frame. You have these little loops now in front. You want to make sure that you don't go along that loop, and make sure you get the back 2 stitches. The first couple of ones, so the only ones you really need to worry about. The rest will be a lot easier to see. Just those first 2 stitches. Okay, so just continue around single crocheting, and each stitch around for 10 rounds. And remember, your beginning stitch will go diagonally, so just make sure you're counting the right amount. I just want to point out on this row, it can be difficult to find the stitches. Sometimes you'll end up with one little extra here at the beginning. Fix that right away, because remember, you did the switching of the yarn, so you'll count right from the beginning of the different color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I have another stitch here in between, which would be 11. But I don't want to go into that one because you need 10 stitches. So what you're going to do if you end up with 10 stitches, just skip this very last stitch and go right into your new color. And then just continue on. Make sure right now that you have 10 stitches. Okay, I just got done with my 10 rows of my legs. And now you can just slip stitch in the next stitch, chain 1, and cut your yarn, leaving yourself some tail to be able to sew it onto your project. And then this is where you want to stuff your legs, and you want to stuff them well, because remember, you want them to be able to stand up. Now it's pretty stiff, so I can push this level at least, and then sew it right along the bottom of the unicorn. Okay, so you want to make 4 of these. Obviously 2 front legs, 2 back legs are all made the same. So go ahead and make your 4 legs, and I'll show you how to make the hair.